Hi, and welcome to Bluebell Storytime Online. I'm Miss Mandy from the B.B. Comer Memorial Library, and Miss Marilyn and I have got a couple of books to read to you today about bees. I know it's about to be summertime. A lot of bees are coming out with all the flowers blooming, so we've got a couple of books about some busy bees. I'm going to read the first one. It's called Buzz, and I'd like to thank the author, Eileen Spinelli, the illustrator, Vincent Nguyen, and the publisher, Simon & Schuster Books for Young Readers, for allowing me to share the book with you. All right, Buzz. Buzz loved being a bee. She loved the taste of honey. She loved dozing in her cozy hive. She loved nosing in the sunlit clover. But most of all, she loved flying. Sometimes Buzz would swoop real low under the blackberry bramble where Snail lived. Sometimes Buzz stopped to visit Snail. Snail, who could not fly, enjoyed hearing Buzz tell about the world beyond her berry bramble. Buzz would buzz the latest. Grasshopper got sick eating too much skunk cabbage. Mouse is off visiting her city cousin. Sometimes just before dusk, Bud would swoop real high to visit Old Owl in his willow tree. Old Owl always had wise things to say. Honey isn't everything. Let sleeping owls alone. One day when Buzz was out flying, a storm came up and the wind blew a sheet of newspaper out from under a bench. The headline caught Buzz's eye. Buzz flew in for a closer look. She was shocked as she read the story. Professor declares bees can't fly. Professor Emil Popkin's study is complete. He says the body of a bee is too chunky for flight. Airplanes, birds, and dragonflies are made to fly, he says, but a bee's chunky body, well, it has no business getting off the ground. The rest of the article was missing, but Buzz had read enough. If someone like Professor Popkin said bees can't fly, it must be true. Buzz bobbled and wobbled and fell, flip, to the ground. Befuddled, she huddled under the brambles. Snail tried to cheer Buzz. It's not so bad not being able to fly, she said. Buzz sniffled. It is for me. Snail offered Buzz a berry blossom. Buzz was not hungry. Berry juice? Buzz was not thirsty. Buzz sniffed the afternoon air. I smell smoke. She peered into the woods and saw a flicker of flame. Fire, she cried. Old Owl is in there. Old Owl was a very sound sleeper. Nothing ever woke him before dusk. Buzz had to get to her friend fast. Buzz raced around a fallen pine cone, scrambled over a twig. She stumbled, she tumbled, she tripped, and she flipped. Old Owl needed her, and all she could do was run. How would she ever get up the tree? Buzz wished she had never read the professor's words. The words thumped like her heart beating as she raced over the forest floor. Bees can't fly, bees can't fly, bees can't fly. I must warn Owl, I must warn Owl, I must warn Owl. The more she thought of Old Owl, the less she thought of the professor's words, until suddenly the milkweeds were below her and the firelight was warm on the buzzing blur of her wings. She was flying. She darted into Old Owl's nest. Smoke billowed and made her drowsy. She settled woozily by her friend and buzzed as loud as she could. She held that note until she toppled into Old Owl's ear. Old Owl woke with a start. Fire, he cried, and swooped from the nest. He perched in the hollow of a nearby maple tree and waited. Luckily, it soon began to rain. Later, when it stopped, Old Owl shook his damp feathers, and then he sneezed. Out from his ear popped Buzz. Buzz, said Old Owl, what are you doing in my ear? I think I saved you, said Buzz, and I can fly. Of course you can fly, said the old owl. You're a bee. Bees fly. Yes, said Buzz, you're right. I am a bee. And I can fly. All right. That's great. Now let's sing. This is a fun song. I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. So we want you to pretend like you've just caught a bumblebee and you've got him in your hands. You ready? I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Ouch! It stung me. I'm squishing up the baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm squishing up the baby bumblebee. Ew, it's yucky. I'm wiping off a baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm wiping off a baby bumblebee. Now my mommy won't be mad at me. Great, great. All right. Now Marilyn's got another story about another little busy bee.
Okay, the name of this book is The Very Greedy Bee by Steve Smallman, illustrated by Jack Tickle, and the publisher is Tiger Tales. In a busy, buzzy beehive lived a very greedy bee. All the other bees worked hard making honey and cleaning the hive, but the greedy bee spent all day gobbling pollen and guzzling nectar. Slurp, slurp, burp. Slurp, slurp, burp. The greedy bee wouldn't share his nectar with anyone. He wouldn't even let a tired ladybug sit on his flower. Find your own flower, he shouted. This is mine. Mine. And when one day the greedy bee found a meadow full of the biggest, juiciest flowers he had ever seen, he decided not to tell anyone. Yummy, he buzzed. Lots and lots of flowers, and they're all for me. Wow. The greedy bee whizzed and buzzed from flower to flower, slurping and burping and growing fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. At last, his tummy was full, and he settled down on a big pink flower in the warm yellow sunshine and fell fast asleep. When the greedy bee woke up, it was dark. He tried to fly, but his tummy was so roly and poly that he went down instead of up and crashed. Biff, bang, thump to the ground. I'm scared, cried the greedy bee, and I don't know how to get home. Then he saw two glowing eyes in the long grass. Eek! He cried, a monster is coming to eat me. But it wasn't a monster. It was two friendly fireflies, their bottoms glowing in the dark. What's wrong? They asked. I'm too full to fly, wailed the greedy bee, and I can't walk home in the dark. Follow us, said the fireflies, and they all set off on the long, long journey home. Through forests of flowers and squishy mud, over the hills and under the stars trudged the greedy bee. He had never walked so far, and he was very tired. Nearly there, called the fireflies. Then they heard the whoosh of rushing water. I'm almost home, cried the greedy bee. It's the stream. And it was, but his hive was on the other side of it. Oh no, said the greedy bee, sadly flopping down on the grass. How will I ever get across? We'll help you, said a tiny ant with a big leaf. The ant and his friends flipped the big leaf into the water. Jump on, they cried. Helped by the fireflies, the greedy bee and the ants made their way, splishing and splashing to the other side of the stream. Hooray, I'm home, cheered the greedy bee. Where have you been? Asked the other bees. I overslurped, said the greedy bee. I would never have made it home if my new friends hadn't been so kind. Now I'm going to share my best honey with them. Would you like some too? Yes, said the other bees. Let's have a party. Everyone enjoyed a midnight feast of yummy runny honey, all except for one very sleepy, very happy, but not so greedy bee.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this Busy Bee story time, and join us again next time.